Hey guys, so I know in my last video I talked about um, when you might need counseling, but this is more about what counseling is. So I think when I entered graduate school, I thought that counseling was just that I tell you what to do and you listen to me. Um, that's not it at all. I don't know if that job exists unless you're really rich or you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and then that might be your job. I don't know. But counseling is a lot more than that. I thought then that maybe it just meant that you were a really great listener. And it is, but it's more than that too. So, counseling is basically me becoming an expert on you and not telling you what to do, but helping you figure out what you want and helping you figuring out what path you want to take. Because a lot of people know what they want to do in any given situation, but sometimes they overthink it, or sometimes they miss parts of it, or sometimes you think, oh, well, what about if you do it in this way? And it's really helpful because, yeah, your best friend could listen to you, but they're biased. They're your best friend. So you could easily influence them. But with a therapist, it's a neutral party. So it's a lot harder to convince your therapist of something that may or may not be a good idea because they have an invested interest because they care about you, but they also are able to look from a different perspective. It also takes an incredible amount of focus. So during counseling, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at how you say things, what you say, how you sit, are you guarded, and um, just even looking at word choice. So a great example is my best friend a couple of months ago. She and I were texting, and she said, I really have a craving for New Orleans food. And I said, a craving? Why did you say that? Are you pregnant? And she was just flabbergasted. Like, how could you know that? And I was like, it was a weird word to use in that context. And she was like, people can have cravings all the time. I was like, yeah, but it was just a weird word to use. And so that's how therapists kind of have mind trickery, I guess, because there are some things, and I don't know if it's a naturally given talent or if it's just because I'm trained to be an expert in human behavior for years and years and years, but there are some things that I just pick up on that I know other people would miss. Is that being an empath, where people say, therapists have supernatural abilities to know if people are lying? I don't know. I do know that I'm pretty good at it, and there are some times where people think, how could you possibly have known that from what I said, or know that they were lying, or know that they're hiding something? But it's just because with counseling you become an expert in the person, and so you're able to kind of predict how they think and how they feel or how they would react. And that's what makes it so fascinating, is that you can kind of see how it's going to play out before it happens. And that's a good thing, because sometimes it can prevent bad things, or sometimes it can help them realize what they really want. um, I think that naturally counselors are empathetic people and are drawn to people's emotions. I know that I always have been, but maybe there is something to it's a natural talent, because I am able to predict baby genders 100% of the time, and I'm really good at knowing if people are lying. So I don't know if that's just something that is specific to me, or counselors in general. But I do think that we do tend to pick up on people's emotions and their word choices and things like that in general, whether we are trained for it or it just comes naturally and we're drawn to it. But that's kind of what counseling is. So if you think that it's just someone that listens or someone that tells you what to do, it's not really any of those things. It's someone to walk the path with you, to have in your corner, and to have on your journey. And to me, when I think back to times in my life, that would have been helpful, I think, sometimes to have had somebody that could say, wait a minute, is this the wise thing to do, or is this what you really want, or have you thought about this instead? And I think it's incredibly useful, and I think you should come see, because if you have these preconceived notions of counseling, maybe it's completely different than what you thought. So give it a try, either with me or someone else, and see what you think. That's the only way to really know, right? So hope you have a good week, and this is my vlog about counseling, so I'll talk to you later.